Okay, and here we are live, and welcome
Hi.
everyone to episode 15 of the Hunger for the Hustle podcast. I am joined today by Pratibha Dey. Pratibha, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. How are you?
I feel great. I'm happy I'm speaking with you.
That's awesome. I'm happy. I'm even happier to be speaking with you, so it's good that the feeling is reciprocated.
Thank you.
Now, Pratibha Dey, I'm going to take a big breath here because Pratibha is a very busy lady.
Yeah.
Pratibha Dey is a visionary, an upcoming author, an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, teacher, and founder of C.H.A.I Together LLC. Pratibha has overcome numerous adversities in life, being brought up in the South Asian culture, but inside America. Her academic background is in interpersonal communication and education. I'd love to hear more about that. She's an advocate for women, children, and elderly on her great show, which I've seen, C.H.A.I Together, that's on YouTube, where she advocates for mental health, physical well-being, and her upcoming book entitled Resiliency, A Woman's Journey from Scarcity to Success. Pratibha, you are a very busy lady. You've got me tongue-tied here at 9 a.m. I'm not quite ready to get all the words out this time in the morning.
It is a lot. Yeah, I always meditate. I took a nap today, so it's great.
I actually meditated this morning too. It's a key secret to success, especially when you have as much going on as you do. Excuse me.
So I have to ask, are you drinking coffee or are you drinking chai?
Oh, great question. I am drinking tea, but I must admit it's not chai. It's trying to blend in with the background. That's actually really cool. Blends in with the background.
That's a cool cup. I love it.
I know. It's
abstract.
I must be honest, I have about probably 13, 14 different types of tea in my house, but I don't have chai. So,
well, you know, the chai that you possibly are speaking of is westernized. So the chai is actually Indian masala chai. It's made with milk, sugar, and cardamom. But the chai that's sold in Starbucks and all tastes way different than the original chai.
It's been westernized to appeal to the palates more, right? And probably sell more, no doubt. I did have what I believe was an authentic chai around 2 months ago. I went to a gentleman's house to quote a plumbing job for him, and he was an Indian gentleman, and he made it up. He crushed all the spices up and made it with the ingredients, and it tasted fantastic. Because I'd only ever had it before from like a store, and I didn't really enjoy it too much.
The London is big on Indian food. So is that your first time having chai?
It's my first time having chai. I'm actually from Birmingham, England, which there's a place called the Curry Mile in Birmingham, where it's literally is just a mile strip full of curry houses, and it's everyone's favourite place to go after a couple of drinks and
you and the drinks.
So, Pratibha, I mean, where do we start? I guess we should start like all good journeys at the beginning, right?
Wow.
And let's talk about C.H.A.I Together. I know that's your latest project, and then I think we'll move on to the book, because I'm very excited to hear about that. Where did the idea for C.H.A.I Together come from?
It came from my mom. My mom's diagnosed with paranoia, schizophrenia, and I created the channel C.H.A.I Together before I came up with this idea of doing interviews. So it comes from me and my mom having C.H.A.I Together, and that's the origination of the name.
Yeah, awesome. Like it. I like how you came up with that idea out of something that at first, would have been obviously is quite challenging for your mother, and I imagine it could be for you as well. You know, do you live with your mom or?
Yeah, I do. My mom's a caregiver.
Yeah, okay.
That's the list in my introduction.
Well, I'm not surprised. A lot of things to fit in there, but And so, how did you? For you, maybe, and for me, it would be pretty obvious how you'd start a show like that, but maybe to the audience, it wouldn't. So how did you get started with it?
Well, my first video was for Les Brown, the 3-minute speech submission that I did. And after that, I just stayed on camera, and I was inspired to go outside and go into nature and create my first video, which is entitled Inspiration Behind C.H.A.I. And after that, I made a few more with myself. And then I had the pleasure of having Kawan Glover on as my first guest, and it just hit the road running. That's how it happened.
That's right. Yeah. All you need is the idea, the seed planted in the mind, and then go forward and run with it. And before you know, it's much like I started this podcast. I just thought I'd go with it, and before you know it, you have a number of fantastic guests lined up.
Yeah, and it's fun, and I'm booked till next year. So
wow, you've been busy.
Very busy. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So now I know the project's quite young, really, but maybe you could tell me about some challenges you've had along the way.
Yeah. So it's 1 month old now. I have about 19 videos on there in 1 month. And I do one interview a week with a guest, and the rest are videos that people send in for suicide prevention and suicide awareness. Aside from that, it's my solo videos as well. So the one challenge I came across recently is negativity and people who hurt me in the past coming onto my channel and commenting, and their old paradigms, and me remembering that I can't fall back into those old paradigms and have it affect me because I have great things going for me now. So that is my challenge as of recent.
Wow, yeah, it's you got to they come up, don't they? They come up, don't they? Some of them people. They can be persistent, but you got to be even more persistent in just, I can't hear you, sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
It's interesting that people would go to that length to jump onto your channel and try and mark something that you're creating with a good and pure intention, isn't it?
Yes, and it's actually people in my family who've hurt me in the past, crawling back in, peeping their heads back in. And now that I'm doing what I love, I'm happy, and I'm becoming successful, they feel, like Napoleon Hill says, opinions are cheap commodities. So that's how I thought of it when I woke up to that message, and just remove, delete, block, and keep it moving. So that's what I'm.
Thank goodness for remove, delete, block.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I tell you what I do online. Sometimes, hey, look, it depends who it is. If it's a friend of mine and I know they're just having a bad day, then sometimes I'll let that go. But if someone's persistent, and particularly if I don't have a clue who they are and they just come at me with the first ever contact I have with them is just negative, I'm like, thank you very much.
It's what people can't do themselves. They want to project onto you. And I want to say that this comment was specifically for my abortion poem because my channel is about rawness. It's about mental illness and physical impairments. And people come onto my channel to feel safe and judgment free. They cry on my channel. They can be themselves. It's that safe space, especially advocating for suicide prevention. And so, this person specifically felt the need to say that I'm seeking attention when I post that content. However, all my content is going to be vulnerable and courageous, and that's what C.H.A.I Together is about. So it doesn't matter to me what anyone else thinks, because I'm going all the way with this. This is my C-type goal. This is my vision, and anyone who gets in my way, I'm just gonna keep it pushing, and that's my dream.
Yeah, like Les Brown says, opinions are like behind everyone's goal. But what? And also what he says, which ties right into that, is what people, and I don't think it originally comes from Les Brown. I'm not too sure who it originally comes from. Sometimes I try and remember so many quotes, I forget.
Right.
It's, what people say and think about you is none of your spiritual
business. Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah, a lot of the quotes I find that sometimes I read them and I think, what does that mean? I've heard some quotes 10 or 15 times. We've both been in the Power Voice training, right?
Yes.
And something that Les kept saying was, never let what you want to say get in the way of what the audience wants to hear. I had to hear that about 15, maybe 20 times before I was like, that's what it means.
Yeah, and you were amazing with your speech. Like, you spoke from the heart, and you were you, and you were genuine, and you're you right now, and that's what you have to bring to the audience. It doesn't mean not be yourself. It means be yourself, however, provide for others as well, and include your story. So there's this quote that I read every morning. It says, I want to help others heal their own story and feel important. And then addendum, flip it around, the index card, it says, I want to feel important too, and I want to heal my story too. So it's about everyone, not just yourself, because life isn't just about you, it's about other people too.
That's right. I totally agree. And if you want to help and look after others, you also have to help and look after yourself, I believe, because, you know, that kind of emotive feeling, that kind of care and compassion for others comes from within. And if you're, you know, sometimes you need strength as well to help other people. So it's good to have a good foundation to do that from, and that means taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Just got a quick say on the side, hi to Joanna. Joanna's watching, and she says that you guys are awesome. So thanks for that. Very kind of you.
Thanks, Jojo.
Oh, so let's move on to what's been your, since you've had C.H.A.I together so far, your single biggest win, the moment that stood out to you and really made you think, yes, this is me, this is what I should be doing.
The feedback from everyone and people privately messaging me and saying that they're thankful for this because, you know, one of their family members has passed away from suicide recently, and someone saying that I inspired them to create their own personal videos as they're going through their own healing. And someone else that I known for a long time that they posted and were vulnerable on their Facebook page about their suicide ideations. And they said I inspired them to do so. And this is someone who's older than me, who's an entrepreneur as well, and who's a businessman. And for people to find inspiration from what I'm doing and be able to be vulnerable, like that is key because, you know, growing up, I always had challenges when I was vulnerable with other people, and other people didn't tend to do the same because not everyone's comfortable doing so.
Yeah, exactly right. So
yeah,
it is great when you get that little bit of feedback that you're helping someone, right? Just one person gets in touch. It affirms that, particularly when that's for yourself, that's absolutely your goal to, you know, to help others who are going through or can relate to what you've been through. And when you get that little bit of feedback, it's a big thumbs up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's emotional to me. I just have to pause and absorb that moment because this is why I'm doing this. And that's why those naysayers, you know, and any negativity that's to come won't matter because what I'm doing is worth it. And I'm not doing this for myself. I'm also doing this for the women who were quieted, the elderly people who were abused, the children who were abused through corporal punishment, and all sorts of things that I endured myself. And now I've overcome them and I can speak about it. And that is a part of my purpose.
Yes, and I'm so glad you did overcome them because otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you and you wouldn't be having that impact that you are having helping others. So I want to congratulate you on that. Well done. You're a winner. You are a winner.
I am a winner. I'm empowered.
So sometimes I don't want to spend too long on it. I think we can probably move on from it from then. But sometimes I use that negativity that people give to me to actually fire me up. Sometimes I think, you know, my younger sister Jade has a beautiful tattoo on her leg, and it says, "Tell me I can't, and I'll show you I can." And that kind of when someone gives me a bit of negativity like that, I'm like, hey, look, and you know, you never know the reasons behind it. They could be having a real bad day. You don't know what's going on for them. So that's one thing you have to bear in mind with a bit of humility there. But I think I just take it and I'm like, oh, I'll show you I can do it.
Yeah, and that's great. And I also felt inspired too after that message. I was like, and then it led me to like create more content. So it's like it does inspire you. Like I do agree. And you're doing great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Try my best.
So we don't say try, we do.
Yeah. Oh, I hope John doesn't watch this. I hope John Tallarico doesn't watch this. He's not going to be happy I use the word try. Oh, I use it again. T-R-Y. So tell me about, I mean, some failures for sure. It might not be inside the C.H.A.I together, but some failures you've had, because I find that that's where a space where people learn more than when they're winning.
Wow, yeah. So I would say growing up, I left a lot of content incomplete, such as paintings or my blog, photography, anything that really used my imagination and I was creative with. I didn't complete them because I allowed other people to feed into my dream, and I stopped doing what I was doing because of other people and their opinions. And that is so important to learn early on, I believe, that to have self-development, because if I had this program, then I wouldn't have been affected and I would have went, straight ahead with it. And I'm 27 now, and I was doing all of these things being young at 17, 18 years old, and I shut myself off from doing so.
And then the creative flair came back times 10, I reckon.
Yeah, and it's a learning process, ongoing process, and it's ever changing. And I'm still learning to get it back. Like, I know it's here. We just have to tap into it, right? Like, we're learning in our program.
Yeah,
I'm not as young. Yeah, like I'm not where I was before, to where, I had that careless sense of imagination. Since I'm older now and I have responsibilities, so we have to learn to unlearn and not conform to that.
Yeah, good words, strong words.
You're like, this is powerful stuff today.
Yeah, I'm just taking it in, mental notes. No, I've been up since 5:30, so I should be a lot more awake than I am, really. But that's life. If you had to start all over again tomorrow with C.H.A.I Together, and the book as well, we'll love to hear more about the book. Is there anything you would change, anything you would fundamentally go, oh, that didn't quite work out. If I did this again, I'd probably do it a bit of a different way?
No.
Simple answer.
I'm saying no, because all of this leads to the better things. All of this is the practice, right? Like Dolly spoke with us yesterday, like where we are now, we have to go through the journey of, making mistakes, not having the best equipment, not having those material things, but it's about my message. And from day one, with Inspiration with C.H.A.I video, I always provided my message for why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm very strong in my pursuit. So no, because my message matters more than anything that's an object around me.
Love it. That's great. It's just getting started, right? Just get started. If you got the idea, just get started. That's the time to act, when the idea is hot.
Someone had asked me, oh, I'm doing a podcast now. Do I have the equipment for it? I have the mic, camera, all this. I'm like, no. Like, I literally just went out into the grass and I said what I needed to say. It's about my voice. And that's what I've learned, that I have to, emphasize on my voice, what's already given to me, instead of, worrying about buying things. Like, all of that stuff will come, but my message has to get out there first, and it has to get out there now because it can save a life.
So let's go back to that, because I think a lot of people find that interesting. Podcasts are becoming, and on online channels and shows like this are becoming really big things. So did you get started just with your phone or your laptop, or what kind of equipment did you have?
Yes, with my phone. That's it. With my phone, and I uploaded it, no editing. I still don't edit my content, as much as I should. And I don't worry about those things, because I'm only concerned about my message reaching to whoever it needs to reach, and the rest of that can come. I can always, outsource those things, and, it's about my message.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it's like, do what you can where you are with what you have. All you need is a phone. The microphone on your phone is actually very good. They're actually really good. A lot better than some people think. It can sometimes help to have a quiet surrounding, because it picks up everything. But yeah, like you say, the content of what you're putting out is more important. It has to be an audible quality. Of course, people have to be able to listen to it and be able to see it clearly. Yeah. But as long as that's the case, then it's the content of what you're actually putting out is more important than the quality, I think.
Yeah. And I'm very grateful that I've come to this point where, how you said it took you 20 times to understand that quote, like, what does Les Brown mean when, it's not about you, it's about the audience. So for me, it took me all of these years to learn that, you start with what you have and you start now, because I wasn't able to break through that wall when I was younger. I was like, I always wanted to do YouTube since I was a teenager. I was like, I don't have the right setup. I don't have the right, home. And I just sat on that. And if I would have started, let's say, all those years ago when it was less strict, who knows where I would have been. But we don't think about that. We just think about them now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that'd be really good, juicy information for people to know. You know, if you want to start something like this, the time is now. You know, and you just need a phone. You just need one of these, and that's it.
Yeah.
They all come with a microphone on them. Yeah, if you know, you could obviously, or a laptop. Laptop has great cameras and a webcam and microphone on it as well. You don't need all the singing, dancing things. You just need, I think what you really need is a good idea. I don't even think you need any people to help you. You just need you and your phone and a good idea, maybe some pure intentions, some good intentions, and just run with it. I mean, you say you're a month old and you've got 19 videos up.
Yeah, I have more videos to upload. I haven't uploaded them that people sent in.
Yeah. And is this kind of like your full-time hustle now, or do you have a job as well?
No, I don't have a job. I'm in my last semester of school. So I'm also in school while I do this every day. And I told my professors, and this is my dream. They know what I'm doing. And I told them this is my priority. And then school is my second priority, because I know where I'm going with this. So I'm not very concerned about, being, of course I do my best and I am doing great. However, this comes first for me,
Yeah, it's your priority. It's not too awesome.
It is.
So what are you studying, can I ask? I mean, I can see that.
I'm completing my degree in interpersonal and organizational communication. So interpersonal communication is speaking one-on-one, small group interactions, like what I'm doing with you right now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's cool. I never went to university. I applied like I did, but I never actually went. But there's so many courses, isn't there, you can do? Just so many. Sometimes I hear of them and I'm like, wow, you can do a degree in that. And I guess they just grow all the time, don't they?
The thing is, I found out that there was a certification for my degree, and I was like, if I would have known that, I would have just did the certification and the degree, and it's cheaper too. But I think it's great. Either, even if you didn't go to uni, like you had your own life experience, like I went to uni, I did learn things from it, which made me who I am now. And if I hadn't, I still would have learned things. So no matter which path you take, you're still going to land where you're supposed to be at the end. Like I am right now, even though I did uni, that may not be my end goal. My end goal is to be an entrepreneur, which I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not your end goal, it's what you already are.
Ooh.
Now tell me a bit more about the book, Resiliency, A Woman's Journey from Scarcity to Success.
Mm-hmm. So I'm writing it. I haven't been writing as much due to school and, managing all these activities, because we can't manage time. So, so the book is about my life and all of that I've overcome, including, very graphic stories, and it's going to be detailed. However, it's also going to have activities and things you can do to also heal. So it's not just a book you read about me. It's not about me. It's for other people as well. As I healed, they healed too. And I really want to do this, once again, for women, children, and elderly people, because a lot of elderly people are alone out there too.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely right. And particularly in a time like this, it can be a very lonely time for elderly people.
Yeah.
They would usually have friends, family that visit them, and they might be the only people they see week to week, and that's just not happening at the moment. It can't happen I know some places are better than others around the world, but it's definitely something that it needs to be considered, right? And that people, if you have elderly people that just pick up the phone, give them a call, have a chat with them. That's all you need to do. They would probably be delighted to hear from you.
Such as my parents. I was just speaking to my dad for about an hour. I was like, I have to go at 6:30 for this interview. And, he was telling me his past life story. So all of that is important. It's important to drop everything. Like, the world stops when your parents want to speak to you. It's different for everyone, whoever that is for you. And they won't always be here. My dad is 71 years old, and I have to keep that in mind. I'm not going to get this time back. So how am I using my time?
Exactly right. Does your dad live there in the US?
Yeah, my dad's in the US. I live with him here.
Okay, you live in there. Yeah.
My parents are together. I'm here with my parents. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like your parents as well as your brothers and sisters, they are your real only true link to the past. You know, particularly if your brothers and sisters are older than you, they've known you as long as you've been here, right? So
yeah,
it's a real strong link that is to your past, and they know everything about you. Perhaps with your parents, you don't know everything about them, and I don't know. You touched on it there, but I find it really interesting to talk to my parents about times when I was young and even before I was here, and like just hear the stories because
yeah,
you're 27, right?
yeah. I'm 27.
Yeah, so I'm 32. Yeah, 32. I have to think
Okay.
about that. It was my birthday last week, but so
Yeah.
like the time the world changed so rapidly. In like if you go back to the time we were kind of born, early 90s for you, late 80s for me, the world changed so rapidly in that time. Like the digital revolution just went whoom, and everything changed. You know, from like the world really kind of late 80s, early 90s didn't have CCTV and cameras and stuff everywhere, and the internet was just very primitive. It was barely around, and it certainly wasn't in people's hands like it is now. So the stories that you hear from your parents then, it's literally like, I don't know about you, but when I listen to their stories, it's literally like they're talking about a different time. And I suppose it's because they are, and things are always changing, of course, but I think it's a particularly interesting period in time, like the past kind of 30 years, that things just changed immensely quickly.
Yeah, I was telling my dad that, I wish it was a movie that we could rewind and watch. Like, I feel his stories, like I'm there, but I just want to see the faces of, his family members I never met. I never met my dad's side of the family at all. And, he's speaking about Gandhi, and it's like, to live through that time, like, we're never going to live through that time. That's so unique to me.
Yeah. You could always make a movie about it, right? But of course,
Yeah.
you can't bring the people back you haven't met, and I share that with you. There's some people in my some of my grandparents I never got to meet. So yeah, it's tough, but at least you can relive, get to know them through the stories that you share with your parents.
Yeah. And I don't have photographs as well, and they didn't have television, wasn't big, and it's like that's why I always used to wish when I was doing photography that I wish I could capture it with my eyes and record it with your literal eyes. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah, it's funny, like, and I'm digressing a bit here, but I saw.
It's okay. This is awesome.
Have you seen? That's what it's about. Have you seen the new? I saw some new glasses that I believe Apple are bringing out, and
What
they could. I saw some new glasses that Apple are bringing out.
Yeah.
I believe you might be able to record with them what you're seeing, and you can change the color of your eyes with them, and they have like, if you're using sat nav, it just shows up like at the top of your vision on the screen. So who knows? Soon maybe you will be able to record what you're seeing, or I don't know how that would work. Sounds a bit far.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to insert cameras into our eyeballs. I believe anything is possible because you insert chips into our body, so you can insert cameras. You just never know if they can do LASIK. They can do that.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows? Maybe it's already happening.
Yeah, we don't know what we don't know.
We don't know, and it can't hurt us.
Please don't come after me.
Yeah, for the record, if the military is watching, we are just joking. Now, tell me, Pratibha, about some of your goals and aspirations for C.H.A.I Together.
So, my 3 big goals are to feed the hungry in third world countries, billions of people. I want to build orphanages in India. India specifically first, because when I was younger, I saw a video of an older woman dying on the street, and I was inspired, I believe, at age 19, and I was like, I'm going to go work for Oprah. I need to do something about this. And then, hearing other people saying my dreams are too big, I would need a lot of money to build this orphanage, yada, yada. That idea faded away. And to supply education, that is a big first for me, as being an education major. And I also was teaching abroad in Thailand, so I have life experience of how education is in another country and how lucky we are here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant, awesome goals. Particularly, I mean, they're
Yeah.
all fantastic, and not one outweighs the other. But I think helping to feed others and to build an orphanage, that would just be a huge, marvelous goal, and I'm sure you will do it. I would love to see that. I will wait to see that unfold. I really look forward to seeing that. Interesting that you've taught in Thailand. Whereabouts were you in Thailand?
I lived in northern Thailand in C.H.A.I. I also visited Bangkok and Koh Samet Island and a few different places. I moved around a lot, about 9 times. And I also visited Laos as well, which is a country bordering it.
Yeah, I've been to Laos, and I've been to Thailand a couple. Yeah, I've been to Thailand a couple of times, but only in the south. Never went to the north.
Oh, yeah, those two. I wanted the authentic experience.
Did you see the elephants in the north?
I went on I went in Hua Hin where we had our training for ESL. ESL certified internationally. We went on a elephant safari, and I saw this one elephant and then a family of elephants from like a vantage point, and that was incredible. However, that one elephant just did it for me. I didn't take any photographs. However, I just held in the moment, and that was all I needed.
That's all you need, right? Yeah, magical moment. I haven't seen any elephants wild, but I did see them in a huge reserve, huge nature reserve. So I mean, that was pretty close, right? I guess so. And they'd and actually a baby one. So I guess you could class that as wild because it was born there. So it was, and that was magic. Like seeing the mother and the baby one playing in the water. They're just such beautiful, powerful creatures, aren't they?
And those are the viral videos you see. I would say there is an elephant sanctuary where you can go and help the elephants in Chiang Mai, I believe, and I would like to do that next time. There's also like a globe, I forget what it's called, where you can spend the night and you'll be inside of the safari as the elephants are around you.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think they call them mahouts, don't they? The elephant, the guys who look after the elephants.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, they're called mahouts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. So give me if 3. I'm trying to think how I'll combine it for you. Yeah, we'll go with 3. 3 hot tips and 3 book recommendations for anyone that's hungry for the hustle, anyone that's wanting to be an entrepreneur or who already is.
Yeah. So I have a lot of books here. So 3 hot tips: consistency, determination, and dedication. You need these 3 to go every day and have your routine and do what you need to do every single day and not miss a day. Books. So this book here is by Craig Travis called Burdens of a Dream. And I just, That's it. Yeah. Sorry, but my camera. Burdens of a Dream by Craig Travis. And it's incredible if you just started a new business, and it has 33 nuggets in there that will assist you in having a successful business. Another book I recommend is Your Invisible Power. I've been reading that, Your Invisible Power. And I would have to say Les Brown's book, You've Got to Be Hungry. And I'm saying this because I finished that book in about 2 days. And I would read it again and again because it's just that kind of book. Yeah,
it's a great book, right? I want to read mine again, but I lent it to my girlfriend and she hasn't finished it yet. So I rewound back actually and had read a couple of his older books. You can't really see that very well because of the camera, but It's Not Over Until You Win. That's one. And I had another one as well. This one's interesting. This one has like things he asks you to do and like little tasks that you write along in.
So let me see.
Can you show me that first? That's what I was just about to say. Can you show us that one?
Yeah. So should I move this? Okay. So
that's perfect right there. Burdens and Dreams by
Burdens of a Dream. It's a lavender color, and I love the graphic on it as well. And Your Invisible Power, for anyone who doesn't know, that's not studying with us.
You got it.
And it's pretty short. And also one that is recommended. This is the 4th one I know, but The Power of Awareness. that our coach John Tellerico told us about.
Yeah, I keep hearing about that one.
So, yeah. So
I feel like you've got a whole library there, Pratibha.
I have all of the books recommended by all of the successful people. I actually bought all the books that John had in his post, every single one.
Brilliant.
So,
for anyone who doesn't know who John is, we're talking about John Tallarico.
Yeah.
They call John the connector. And if you ever look into who John is, I mean, you can just a quick Google or find out who he is. You'll soon see why he's the connector. He's known for connecting business people all over the world, and more than that, connecting people to be able to achieve their dreams. He's certainly connecting us to get closer to ours, right, Pratibha?
Yes, I was just going to say that at the speed we're going at, it definitely works. So I highly recommend, as another nugget, invest in coaching and invest in a program that's best for you. Coaching can definitely accelerate and catapult you into your dreams.
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that I've only recently I did kind of coaching, but just coaching myself, reading, meditation, gratitude list, affirmations, things like that. I've been doing that for years, but really only stepped into coaching this year. And it was probably only because of coronavirus, because although I was busy, it made other people more accessible. I found. So a lot more courses have been popping up from people everywhere that otherwise would just be too busy to offer them. The course Thinking into Results, which is the course created by Bob Proctor, delivered to us by John Tallarico, it's the single biggest thing I ever bought, ever. And it still is. I just bought a car yesterday, but that's still, the training was still the single biggest thing I ever bought. And what greater thing to invest in than yourself? Because it's not about the money or the price tag or how much it costs. It's about the worth it brings to your life, right? And how it can, like, it makes the course I found it now I'm aware that my capability to earn is completely limitless. So the initial investment I made is now, I mean, it doesn't matter at all, right? It's just, it cancels it out. So
yeah,
infinite possibilities.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what time is it there?
It's 7:39.
7:39. What are you going to do with the rest of your evening?
I'm going to, complete the activities I left off. We don't call it, we call it play. Remember?
Sorry?
I said, we don't call it work, we call it play, because all this that I'm doing, all these things that I have to complete are for myself. So we do these things for ourselves. So it's not work, it's play.
I like that. I think I'm not thinking about it like that. I'm going to adjust my thinking to that.
Because I enjoy doing our routines. I enjoy studying and completing the things that I need to, because they're benefiting me for my tomorrow and right now. So, they're not burdens. I enjoy them.
Yeah, not burdens, benefits. Nice one. Love it.
Ooh, very nice.
Ooh. Okay, if you want to connect with Pratibha, you can find her on Instagram under C.H.A.I Together, under LinkedIn under Pratibha Dey. It's spelled just like you can see there under her beautiful face on the screen. YouTube channel is C.H.A.I Together, and I've just put that in the comments so everyone will be able to see that, whether they're watching live or later. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Hunger for the Hustle podcast. Pratibha, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and I want to get you back on when the book comes out. I'm really looking forward to seeing that and reading it myself.
Thank you. Take care.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Namaste.
Bye, everybody.